Welcome to Music Today. This is Keitaro Harada. The orchestra world is facing a challenge of gathering together on stage to perform for our audience. As we patiently wait for the day that we can all come back together like before, I wanted to create a place where we can gather together online in real time to relax and enjoy music.
Good evening, and thank you for joining me at Music Today. The concept of this show is to bring in an artist each episode and have a conversation with the artist about a performance we will all watch and listen together. The live component is very important because I encourage all the viewers to comment and ask questions to the artist. If you're nervous about asking a question, just comment and say hello. Music Today is a bilingual show. The live streams during your evening will be in English, and the shows that broadcast during the morning time will be in Japanese for the fans in Japan. If you want to improve your Japanese skills, you're more than welcome to watch the Japanese interviews too. I want to make sure that I share you some of the guests that will be appearing coming up. We have Mikki Sodergren, of course, today, and then tomorrow we have John Morris Russell. Kicking off in June, we have Victoria Bond, Tito Munoz, Michael Christie, Christopher O'Reilly, Daniel Black, Darko, Turek, Eli Finkelstein, Ian Parker, Stephanie Foley-Davis, Deanna Bryowick. So a lot of others are still on schedule, so make sure you tune in and check out Music Today. So without further ado, I'd like to bring in our guest for tonight. Since I cannot hear you clap, please do me a huge favor and add like clapping emojis, or you could write clap, clap, clap if you want. Please welcome our special guest, Mikki Sodergren. Hi, Mikki.
Hey, how are you doing?
Very well. How are you?
I'm great.
Excellent. You have very nice artist lights, so it's very beautiful looking. Even without the lights, you're beautiful, but you know.
Yeah, great lighting.
Excellent. Well, where are you quarantining right now?
I am currently in Asheville, North Carolina, which is a lovely town up in the mountains. I think anyone that's been to Asheville has a special place in their heart for Asheville, so I'm happy to be here.
Fantastic. So for our viewers, Mikki and I spend some of our time in Savannah because we both have an arts organization that we are with in Savannah. And for Mikki, it is the American Traditions vocal competition. Would you give us just a little bit about what this organization is about?
Sure. We are the only singing competition in the world that celebrates different genres of American music, and specifically singers that can perform in different genres of music. Most competitions of any kind are very specialized. You know, there is a piano competition, there's a violin competition, there's a specific genre of opera competition. But we actually ask singers to sing different styles of music. They have to do 9. And it's been going on in Savannah for 28 years now. And there's nothing like it. It's a really cool collection of musicians from different backgrounds that come to compete. So
fantastic. And we'll definitely dive in more later on about ATC and how you got involved with ATC. So, but let's talk about music. This music that we're listening to today, tell us a little bit more.
So Alanya Bridge is a composer. She is Australian, and she attended the NYU Graduate Musical Theater Writing Program, which is a mouthful. It's an even longer acronym, actually. Really? And it's a master's degree that's focused on musical theater writing at NYU. There's I don't think very many programs in the country or world that focus specifically on writing of musical theater. So in their first year, they write their final project is a 45-minute musical, I believe. No, it's a 10-minute musical.
Okay.
At the end of their first semester of their second year of masters, they write a 45-minute musical. And then by the end of their entire master's degree, their thesis project is actually a full-length musical. And NYU brings in professional actors all across New York to perform in these. And everyone gets the same amount. It's like $50 a day. You know, it's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of fun. And I've met some amazing people working there, both other actors and writers, and some I've continued to work with even after they graduate. And Alanya is one of those. I've worked with her so much, and I love her music. It reminds me of like Sarah Bareilles meets Tori Amos. It's very moody and ethereal, and I'm a big fan of hers.
So this song that we're listening to, Then Came the Light, is it part of a musical or is it a one-off?
This is actually part of a song cycle, and I asked her about kind of the origins of it once because it's a little dark.
Okay.
And I asked if this is like a character that's moving through the song cycle. It's just a standalone song in the song cycle, just one person in a moment.
Great. Well, before we take a listen, I'd like to recognize some of our fans that are listening today. Lisa, thank you. Dave, thank you. Sean, and some guy named Darko Boo 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 Boo. I can't read his name.
It's either rap, actually.
Darko's actually on my guest in 2 weeks. So thanks, Darko. All right, let's listen to some music.
I always wear stripes.
Looking
I
back,
could tell.
I start to remember. Looking back, it comes crystal clear, crystal clear. I knew this was coming. I knew that my time was near, time was here. Clutching at the earth, soil ripped from my fingers, grabbing at the wind, then I'm taking flight. Reaching back for you, a shadow comes and lingers, and there came the light, there came the light. Looking down, I see you beside me. Looking down, I hear you pray. You start to pray. I knew this was coming. I knew that I wouldn't stay, couldn't stay. Clutching at the earth, soil ripped from my fingers, grabbing at the wind, then I'm taking flight. Reaching back for you, a shadow comes and lingers, then there came the light, there came the light. Warnings come in dreams, they come written in the sand, a message that's ignored won't change what has been planned. Time is what we hope for, what we long to understand, but my time came too soon. It came too soon. Looking up, it's not how I imagine it. Looking up, I can barely see. I knew this was coming. I knew that they called for me, clutching at the earth, soil ripped from my fingers, grabbing at the wind, and I'm taking flight. Reaching back for you, a shadow comes and lingers, then there came the light, there came the light, there came the
Bravo! Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. What a gorgeous song.
Thanks. Yeah, I love her music. It's all like really bassy in the left hand, and it's always kind of moving and fluid. I mean, she does other, songs as well, but a lot of the stuff that I'm really drawn to of hers is kind of like that. What's funny about that video actually is I was asked to lip sync for that. I had already recorded it. And then we
Really?
did a lip sync video of it. It's kind of funny for me to watch because I can see where I'm off from it. It's really distracting.
Really? I if you would have not told me that, there's no way I could have. Really? That was lip syncing?
I was so focused on not making weird faces because, if you're actually recording, you're not worried about what your face looks like. You're worried about, making music. But in that video, I was very aware of what I was doing.
I love the fact that it's actually in front of a mic because it's a total illusion, right? If had it been a music video, like a real music video type where there wasn't a mic and you just kind of, lots of screenshots. Of course, I know that's lip singing, but like the fact that you're in front of the mic totally gives the illusion that it's coming from. Wow. Okay. No, you totally tricked me on that one. A couple others have joined us from Japan, and wonderful claps from everywhere. Thank you guys. Dave says great song and great singer, of course. And Mikki, you're an amazing singer. I have two verses in there that I just absolutely love, which was reaching out for your reaching out for your shadow comes and lingers. Yeah, reaching out for you. Yeah, reaching out for you, the shadow comes and lingers. That I thought that really was such a beautiful phrase, and looking up and I can barely see. And also another interesting phrase because when you think about the word looking up, you're always thinking about being able to see something,
right?
But you can barely see. It just gives it's so this but that. And I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of like juxtaposition and I think it's kind of like just a general concept of cloudiness.
There is definitely.
A lot of cloudiness in the song. Yeah. I love it.
Fantastic. Thanks. Well, so Mikki, you're such a multifaceted artist. From opera to pops, you do it all, and this is such a rare talent. Tell me how you became so comfortable with multiple genres, and do you prefer one over the other?
How did I start doing all that? I grew up in like a household that loved all sorts of music. My dad was a conductor, actually, a band director, and my mom and a trumpet player, and my mom's a pianist and a great singer. My dad sings as well, and he also composes a bit. So a very musical family. My brother also played trombone. So we're all very versed in music, and like my childhood playlist was CMT country music, Gloria Estefan, and Spice Girls. I was like,
nice. I love Spice Girls.
Oh, they're great. I still listen to them. They were my first concert actually when I was 7.
Fantastic.
It's a great concert for a 7-year-old. Super appropriate. But, like I listened to that, and I also spent a lot of time listening to classical music. My dad actually would have me categorize classical music by if it was fairy or goblin music, and that was my way to differentiate.
Okay.
I don't know if it was major or minor or, if it was volume related, but I definitely had a classification system as a kid. And I was really into musical theater. And then I kind of got the opera bug when I was about 14 years old, which is kind of young for an opera bug, but I did it. And that led me to apply and attend Interlochen Arts Academy, where I focused on opera. My major was opera there. And then I went to college for opera. But the whole time I had in the back of my mind that I loved other kinds of music, and I felt like I wasn't really allowed to explore that. And I did a little bit here and there, but it wasn't until I was probably in my early to mid 20s that I really started to feel grounded in singing different styles of music. And that led me to the ATC, the American Traditions Vocal Competition. I'm now artistic director of, but at the time I competed. I competed when I was 22, and then again when I was 23, and I won when I was 23. I felt very seen by that organization, which is probably why I still feel such a strong connection and want to help work for them and work on behalf of them, because it gave me a community of people that also love different kinds of music. There's the website. Oh, that's Carol Bufford.
Buford, yeah.
Yes, not like Buford.
But Bufford.
Carol J. Bufford is our winner this year. She's excellent. I actually saw her perform years ago in New York. She had I think like a 6-month residency at Birdland, and every single week she had to have 2 new sets of completely different music that had never been sung before. She couldn't repeat.
Oh, wow.
She's an incredible performer, and I was really glad to see her compete this year and do well. I mean, she won. She did very well. She's phenomenal. But there's not really one kind of music I prefer over another. Actually, what I prefer is variety. And I've been really lucky in my singing career that I get to do a variety of different kinds of music. What about you?
I think I'm the same with you, where I am comfortable doing opera and symphonies to ballet and pops. And I also do a fair amount of concerts where we screened a John Williams movie, and then conduct this music, like Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Star Wars. And those concerts are great too, because it brings in a crowd that are completely movie fans, and it's just,
hear it live.
And then the excitement from those audiences is very different from the excitement that you gain from classical concert goers. Neither one is better than the other, but it's just a different crowd. So I love it. So I'm with you on all kinds of genres. We're having more guests join us watching live today. Roger Moss, our dear friend, says hello. So another question that I have for you, Mikki, is that one of the common denominators that you and I have, in addition to being arts leaders in Savannah, is that we are both Interlaken bred. And so your brother and I were in school at the same time. And so tell me a little bit about your favorite memories at Interlaken.
Oh, man. Interlaken, it's such a if you know, you know kind of situation, I feel like. But Interlaken, I have so many great memories of growing as a person. And, I came from a small town in Minnesota called Red Wing, where they make shoes and pottery. It's a very industrial community. It's on the river, on the Mississippi River, but it's small, and it's kind of insular. And, like, for perspective, my best friend was adopted from South Korea, and there was like 2 Jewish people in the town, and everyone else was white. So it was really, really a great experience for me on every level to culturally be shocked by such an international student body. I remember I learned Spanish from sitting at a table of people that were from all different Latin American countries. And they said, if you want to sit with us, you can, but we're not going to speak English for you. And so my favorite phrase was, "Como se dice?" And then I would say anything, because I didn't know any Spanish. And I absorbed it through them. And I don't really speak Spanish as well anymore, but I was able to say slang in almost every single Latin American country's version of Spanish. I was able to differentiate Spanish just from listening to them. And I had friends just from all over the place, and I still do. I'm still good friends with all my friends from Interlaken. It was just a wonderful experience. How was your experience there? What was your favorite memory?
My favorite memory is just being surrounded by the talent pool that's there. You really, in the years at Interlaken, you just know that these friends that you make are going to be the future leaders of the arts. And it's just not music. It's also in dance, it's in theater, it's in visual arts, it's in videography, it's in writing. We have colleagues that are doing wonderful things. And what I also appreciate now that we've graduated and have left that high school bubble of Interlaken, there are colleagues that have continued and are still doing what they do, and there are colleagues that have stop doing what they do, but they still are very much patrons of the arts. And I really appreciate, seeing many of them at concerts when I travel, and catching up with them when I'm in town, where my friends are. So it's a strong bond.
It is. It really is. It's like it instills a deep-seated appreciation of the arts in everyone that goes there, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually one of my very favorite memories was we did the Nutcracker, I think my senior year. And I had never actually seen the ballet. It's such a production to put on a full ballet. And it involved the orchestra, it involved all the dancers, it involved the women's chorus. So we actually got to be in it, which I saw at the New York City Ballet a couple years ago, and they had like a MIDI track doing it. I was so disappointed. I was like, I can sing it, I know it. But I think also, the art students designed the sets. They designed the costumes. It was such a cohesive production. It was just really cool to see everyone come together and create that. So yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned about Nutcracker, because when I was at Interlochen, during the Nutcracker performances, I used to help out doing the snow. So I'll be in the catwalk with paper, with this snow, right? Paper snow, and then shuffle it. And all the the band and orchestra guys, if we weren't playing in the pit that night, then we were up in the catwalk doing snow, and you could kind of tell who, because there were like 20 of us, right? So you could kind of tell who was doing which snow, because of the roughness, or like the girls were very gentle, and you could see flowiness, flowing snow, and mine would just be like a storm on one hand. Love it. Mikki, we have a question, which is, have you found that studying one vocal genre has influenced how you study interpret performing other genres?
Yes, in some ways. It's not necessarily well, actually that's a really good question. Yes, it has affected everything in every way, especially the way that I approach anything that's more pop stylistically. I have taken that straightforward interpretation with a lot of my classical music, and it has helped me get rid of a lot of the weirdness. A lot of people, when they're studying classical music, get this haughty sense of almost like impenetrability of classical music. But music is about reaching another person. It's about communicating. And if you put certain kinds of music on a pedestal as if they're inaccessible even to you, I mean, of course, there's some music that we all feel that way about, but it's helped take some of the shrouding away from classical music for me, and I'm able to give a much more straightforward approach. And actually, since doing more pop music, I've just started to accumulate more classical work without even trying. I don't audition for it; it just comes to me. And I think it's because I took some of the pressure off myself in needing to perform it perfectly instead of performing it well, which is two different things. But it's also got me in trouble, where I remember I was singing for a conductor who I now work with all the time. I'm so lucky. His name's Stephen Fox, and he conducts the the Cathedral Choral Society at the National Cathedral, and also the Clarion Music Society that I've sung and toured with a bunch. But when I was singing for him, I was singing Mozart, and I was sliding as if it was pop. And he called it out right away. He's like, "This note, you're not hitting the note. So just sing the note." But generally, I think it's a positive influence that I have different kinds of music have on each other.
One of the things that you just mentioned about us as an artist, we're so hard on ourselves. We're so, but when you let that go and when you free yourself, I think the artistry really soars, because then you really are not thinking about too much about technique or how do I sound, but you're simply enjoying the process of music making. And I think that's really important. Yeah.
What was your major at by the way?
Saxophone.
Saxophone. Oh, do you still play?
I do. Actually, not as often as I did before. I'm in Japan right now, but I just recorded on TV about a week and a half ago for a TV show, which is airing next month. But I play whenever I can. It's not really a portable instrument, and it's it's a little bit heavier than my conducting baton, so
Yes.
I can't really like carry it around all the time. I wish I can, but I started off as a saxophonist. What I wanted to do in life was to play in Broadway in the musical pit. So I'm a woodwind doubler. I play all kinds of wind instruments, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in New York. I wanted to be in London, Chicago, just playing in Broadway. That was my aspiration in life, and that's the reason why I went to Interlochen. And now I wave a stick instead. So haven't finished my dream yet, but one day I'll conduct. All right, so Sean, thank you for your question, and thank you for saying thank you. That was a wonderful question. Another question that I have for you is, do you have any projects that you'd like to share that are coming up, or anything about ATC that you'd like to let our listeners know?
Sure. Yeah. Projects that I have coming up. I did a world premiere of an opera by a friend of mine. Her name is Kamala Shankaram, and I've been attached to it since the beginning. Pretty much the cast has never changed. We've all of our parts were kind of written for us. We did the world premiere in New York last fall, and we'll be recording that in August up in New York. That'll be my kind of first trip back to New York after leaving the city from coronavirus. And also some recordings that I did, I think will be kind of coming out. I did a recording of a piece called The Prisoner by Dame Ethel Smith. It's with I'm never sure. I did that with I think, I'm not going to say what it is correctly, and an orchestra. We recorded that with chorus and orchestra and soloists, and also the Clarion Choir that Stephen Fox conducts. We recorded in January the Rachmaninoff Vespers, and I was the alto soloist on it. So I think we'll at least be getting some preliminary tracks from that, even if it's not a full release yet. So I'm really looking forward to those things coming up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited. As far as the ATC goes, there's a lot of pivoting going on. I know pivoting is a buzzword right now. And I'm sure you're dealing it also with the Savannah Philharmonic, and so many orchestras and other arts organizations are dealing with kind of how to find a way forward. But one thing that we are going to be doing are porch parties. We love literary
porch parties. Okay.
Porch parties where performers from our organization will be performing on a porch, and in the lawns of the hosts, we will have tables spaced out appropriately. So that we can accommodate social distancing for everyone's safety, and everyone can enjoy a live concert. And this is all going to be leading up to having the competition in February. You can see the dates, February 15th through 19th. We are not exactly sure the shape it's going to take yet, because it's going to depend on information as it moves forward with everything, with the country and the world. But for now, we are for sure having the competition, and so. We're really looking forward to it. It's like I said, it's our 28th year this year, and we've always been in Savannah, so we're looking forward to keeping it rolling, however it looks.
And people can find more information about ATC at AmericanTraditionsCompetition.com.
Creatively named.
It's quite a long URL, actually.
It is.
Couldn't you have done ATCSavannah.com? Seems like a much shorter URL, or like ATCS or SAV.
Well, I wanted to get ATC.org, but someone has it.
Oh, really?
I don't know who it is, but I'm going to find them.
How about like ATCSAV.com?
Yeah, that could work.
ATCSAV.com.
Yeah, we need to have it shorter.
Well, like our email address is so long too, like Savannah Philharmonic . Savannah is such a long name. I love Savannah, but it sometimes I like misspell if it's a double V or a double N.
Right, I know. That saves me so much quicker.
Exactly. My final question for you this evening is: performing music has become such a routine activity for us for so many years. Then all of a sudden, because of this world crisis, performing in public has become extremely difficult. So how has your attitude changed? How has your attitude towards music and your attitude towards performing for an audience changed?
Well, I haven't performed for an audience since March. The last gig I had was the Rachmaninoff Vespers in Toronto. But, you know, it's kind of like you said, how it's become rote for us. And I feel that there actually was a lack of perspective that had occurred in my life. And I'm sure it's happened to almost every musician, where you just get used to working and it becomes routine. And you take for granted, oh, I'm going to see these people on this day for this rehearsal. I'm going to see these people for that concert. Okay. I have to make these things work logistically. But I don't know that I feel I'll be taking things as much for granted anymore in the future. I think that, you know, now the most musical experience I get is recording choral music on my own, on my computer, and sending it in as a video to my church choir. And then they put it together and release a hymn that we've sung. And that's the most exciting thing that I do now musically. And so, you know, even that I appreciate. I listen to the hymns that we've recorded, and I love watching what everyone's doing, you know, in their videos, and seeing that they are happy and safe and with their families. And I love listening to the groups differently. When I was in the group before, you know, you're concerned about other things, but now it's a deep appreciation and kind of a longing to be with other people making music. So yeah, I mean, how's it been for you? It's so challenging, I feel like, to not be able to lead an orchestra and be there and be with your orchestra. How has that been for you?
Very true. It is a difficult situation. Being in Japan right now, quarantining in Japan, we just released the emergency status, and so life is sort of starting to go back into normal. And Japan has been a little bit ahead of this managing the crisis than where US has. So I'm kind of seeing how things happen in the orchestra field. Like when you look at Europe and like Germany, and like yesterday, I think it was Frankfurt Radio Symphony was doing a concert without audience and social distancing, and they performed a beautiful Beethoven 7, and I'm learning from them because they're way ahead of Japan, and so I just seeing how they're distancing and how they're performing, and I'm doing a concert in Japan this month, and we're gonna implement that. But I think this is a great time for me to just absorb all the knowledge and what works and what doesn't. Then when come fall in September, when our season starts in Savannah, then I could implement my knowledge. But the problem with this virus and everything is the fact that every day it feels like it's changing. Every week our conversation changes and our social distancing measures change every week. So it's hard to say anything like concrete today in May and be like, this is how we're going to do orchestra concerts, when come September we just don't know, right? So I'm not as much. I do focus a lot of energy on it, but I also am very realistic that we need to be flexible. So in the meantime, I'm a type of person, like Mikki, you know this, but like I can't just stay still and not do anything and, you know, just spend lovely time at home drinking tea Monday, you know, all morning and night. So I have to be doing something. The busier I am, I feel that I'm more productive. I suck at spending free time. So that's why I started Music Today, where I interview artists. I'm doing it twice a day because I'm doing it evening time in the US and evening time in Japan. But this gives an opportunity especially for the classic concert goers, to see the side that they don't usually see when we're on, you know, the offstage side of us and our personality. You know, they get to see the performance face, but here we get to kind of be us and talk about how we really feel about this current situation and all that. So it gives me an opportunity to stay busy. I think I'm much busier now than I was organizing all of this, but I love it because it gives an opportunity for everyone to come together and watch a performance just like we did of yours and talk about it. Yeah,
it's great. You know, we're all learning to wear new hats too. We're all
very
learning
true.
new skills. So I think this is a really, really great thing. And, we're all going to get used to things being different during this time. And it'll be interesting and fun to see how we can continue incorporating other aspects of communication once we get back to regular time. I mean, maybe we'll keep this going. Who knows? Maybe
Exactly. Fantastic. I wanted to share you one other comment from Danny Cohen. Great to see the Savannah Philharmonic and American Traditional Vocals. It is a long name. American Traditions Vocal Competition continue their great collaboration.
Yes.
We gotta talk about we gotta talk about that URL. I think it is a little bit long. Anyways, Mikki, thank you so much for your time to share your music, but share your thoughts about just what you're doing and about the current situation. And I can't wait for us to work together. And I love our collaboration between Stabphil and ATC. I think what we've got is great.
I think it's wonderful. I hope everything happens this year so that we can keep it going.
Fantastic. Well, for all of you watching tonight, thank you for joining us and have a wonderful evening. Stay tuned for tomorrow's guest, John Morris Russell. Have a good night.
Okay, have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share this video. ありがとうございました。チャンネル登録、いいね、そしてこのビデオをぜひシェアしてください。